psi, you know, the atmosphere. These are pumping up to 2 or 3 atmospheres of pressure, so anything up to 48 psi, which is a big difference.
Got it.
Because at the end of the day, the more air you get in, the more fuel you can burn. Right. The more air and fuel you can burn, the more power you get.
You're just basically forcing it in.
Forcing it.
Yep.
Forced induction is what it's called.
Nice.
Turbochargers, I mean, literally here you can see the exhaust pushes into that fan and then comes out here. Whereas you've also got a thing called superchargers, which don't run off the exhaust but have a belt a bit like this, which then spin a compressor which forces the air in. The advantage of the turbocharger is that it doesn't take any power off the engine because it's just exhaust gas, whereas a supercharger is driven by the engine, so you lose some power. The advantage of a supercharger over turbo is that a turbo needs gas to circulate before it gives power, so that's what you get called turbo lag, where you have a bit of a pause when you put your foot down before the power comes, whereas a supercharger is immediate. So it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
Interesting.
Japanese turbocharger.
What's unique about Japanese turbocharger?
Nothing. Just a rare thing for Ferrari to decide to do. But they often go for IHI, which is a Japanese company, whereas in America you'll use a company called Garrett. There's a German company called KKK. Not a great name in some parts of America, but anyway. But Ferrari generally used IHI. I don't know why.
Interesting.
I guess they just decided that was what's going to work best for them.
What goes here? The gearbox?
Flywheel, clutch, gearbox.
Okay.
So, for example, this F40 engine here, these obviously finish at the flywheel, whereas this one's got the flywheel will be in there, and then the clutch, and then that, where it goes from dark grey to light grey, that's differential, and this is gearbox. So it actually takes the drive from the crank, goes all the way to here, and then goes back forward to the differential. So there'll be a shaft that goes through, and then another shaft that comes back.
Is there any differential fluid that gets used here?
Yes. Gearbox. Yeah.
How often does it have to be changed out for a Ferrari? Is it like a... It's a very powerful car.
It depends on the owner. I mean...
10 years?
Gearbox fluid can last for years.
Right. Like my BMW is like 10 years.
If you own a car like this,
5.
You'll probably change it every year.
Every year? Yeah, that's what I figured.
Because it costs more to repair the gearbox than it does to change the oil.
Do you know if Ferrari is shifting towards a more electric kind of car? Do you think they'll ever go full electric at some point, or will they keep their legacy?
Porsche are spending. Well, I mean, look at this, for example. You see these things here. You know what they are.
Is this is this hybrid or?
This is this.
Oh, okay.
These two are the same.
Oh.
One's crest and one isn't.
Oh.
But yeah, you've got your engine, and then you've got your electronics box for your regeneration. But this here is an electric engine here on the back.
They already got the hybrid setup going.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I think
I would hate for it to lose the growl if it became full EV.
Porsche are spending a lot of money on
renewable energy fuel.
Yeah. Well, effectively on holy shit, what do you call them?
Keeping the combustion engine for that.
But using manufactured fuels.
Right.
And I think Ferrari are probably going to be going down a similar route.
Okay.
But apart from anything else, the problem with this electric stuff, I mean, it's only a hybrid. The battery's relatively small, but that is the battery.
It's going to weigh a ton, right?
They're heavy.
Yeah.
Not sure about all the LEDs on this, but hey.
Anthony, one picture.
Certainly.
Thank you.
I hope you got a lot of space on your phone.
I got 1 terabyte. A lot of space. Thank you. Is that the California or?
No, that's just a 612.
That's just a 612.
Just a 612 Scaglietti, I think it was called.
Is a 612 like not too expensive or?
They're one of the cheaper ones to buy on the used car market these days. I think they're lovely cars.
Oh, I thought that said
Even for,
Portofino almost for 1 second.
Lovely car, but it's not yet. It's one of the bargains in the used Ferrari market at the moment.
How much is one starting for? Would you say like maybe 90 grand or
that sort of area? Yeah.
Yeah. It's not too bad. I mean, it aged pretty good.
Just, only 540 horsepower, you know. Only. And it has 4 seats.
It's a family car.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sensible.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking to a guy with a car with 180 horsepower, so yeah. Horsepower isn't everything.
I would happily have one.
Yeah.
I don't have enough money.
It's always about money, man. Always money.
If I had the money, I would have one.
Right. Have you thought about trading in some of your Alfa Romeos, or are you going to keep them?
They're not worth it.
Oh.
But I mean, yes, I've thought about it. But I don't know. My wife is going to kill me one day.
What's that, Anthony?
This is their first engine, effectively.
The first one?
Well, not their first. They're their first.
Is this called the Dino?
No, it's the 125, 1947. It's their first. The first Ferrari car that they made had this engine in it.
Manual, right?
Oh yeah. It just looks so simple, and it's just lovely. I just think it's lovely.
It's art, absolutely.
I mean, it's 125 times 12. What is that? 2, 4. It's a 1.5 litre V12. You know, it's tiny.
Did this engine go into that car here?
Yeah, that's 125.
Okay. Because I think that's how they made their debut, right? Like a race?
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful.
So when Ferrari started off, he worked. He originally raced as a driver, but he basically worked for Alfa Romeo. And then for Alfa Romeo, he started a thing called the Scuderia Ferrari, which was the Ferrari team.
What does Scuderia mean?
Stable.
Stable?
Or team.
Okay.
Scuderia is basically it comes from horse racing. So stable in that point, from that point of view.
Like a paddock, kind of.
Well, I mean, it's where race horses would be trained.
Okay.
Anyway, so he did Scuderia Ferrari for Alfa Romeo. When he left Alfa Romeo, he had an agreement which said for 10 years he couldn't use the Ferrari name. So he started out with...
Who made that term? Enzo?
Alfa Romeo said that you can't use the Ferrari name to build cars for 10 years. So he started off with Auto Avio something Costruzione for a year or two, and then in 1947 he was released from that agreement, and that's when the first Ferrari came out, which was this, which was on in 2 versions. They did this version and an open wheel version as a Formula 1 car.
Amazing.
Not the most attractive car in the world, to be honest.
Back in the day, it was probably revolutionary.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not wholly, because there are some things on here. For example, you see the valves.
Yeah.
Basically, you've got those silver rockers that open the valves. And you've got a single camshaft in the middle, and you see there's these sort of springs.
Yeah.
And you've got 2 springs on each side of each valve, and they're called hair springs because they're kind of like the thing you'd have in a hair clip. This was not. This is how they did this, but this was not the latest in technology.
Oh.
Standard valve springs these days, you've got the valve and you've got the spring goes around the valve like that, and whereas this is kind of like a lever. So this was slightly, even when they launched it, it was slightly out of date for that.
Huh.
But they were looking for reliability as well, and this was they knew that this would keep on working. And for
Got it.
this is Ferrari, you know, for a very long time were seen as very reliable, you know, strong built engines. Unlike Maseratis and stuff that blew up, you see.
Right.
Those Maserati people down the road, they couldn't build an engine. Yeah.
Workshop document of Alfredo Ferrari. Who's Alfredo? The father of No.
I guess it was his father.
His father?
Anyone who else it could be, yeah. In 1900.
Olha aquele! Olha aquele! Aquele carro era desse. Primeiro carro. Ô pai, vem cá ver os troféus que ele conseguiu.
What does this say? It doesn't have a caption to it. Is it the same?
It says, well, let's see, dear Colonel Kovacevic, with this letter, I include the receipts of the SIAS Autodromo di Monza from the track of Monza that Ella, I don't know who Ella was, kindly, I don't know, Ella was someone kindly gives me the ability that I and my son can enter the track in 1954. La ringrazio, signora. I thank you, immediately thank you to let me know what I need to do also for the next year. With best wishes and regards, Ferrari. So basically, it's to the Automobile Club of Milan saying that this is basically my subscription to be able to enter the racetrack for the year. Me and my son.
Okay.
Replica of his office.
Okay. Have you seen this before, by the way? Or okay.
Not for I haven't been here for a few months, but one of the nice things
that
about,
picture's Dino, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the nice things about the Ferrari museums is they change the exhibits. So as long as you don't come every week, you know, if you come every few months, then every time you come, something will be
new.
a little different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Was there a time when his business was going bankrupt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Late 60s.
Okay.
Well, 1947 through to late 60s. Same with Maserati, same with Alfa Romeo.
What was the cause of it? Do you know?
It's
Just bad business.
Racing engine, racing cars don't make a lot of money, or didn't make a lot of money back then. Which is when he sold to Fiat because they needed the money. Alfa Romeo have been bankrupt. I think it's a ridiculous, like 80 years out of their 100-year history. But they're still there.
I guess it's all just part of the heritage with race cars then.
Yeah.
Bankruptcy at some point.
But you see this, not that, this.
These have got to be from the 30s.
But these are all Alfa Romeos.
Oh, I thought these were Ferraris.
This one's not, but this period of his life was all Alfa Romeo up until Auto Avio Costruzione. So this is the first Ferrari, but couldn't be called a Ferrari because 1940 was within See, he was at Ferrari, at Alfa Romeo in 38, 47 the 10 years ran up, and that's when the first Ferrari came out.
1947?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's an argument to say he got lucky because a lot of the years he wasn't allowed to use his name were the war, which he wasn't going to be doing this stuff anyway. Because 38 he left Ferrari, he left Alfa Romeo, 39 the war started, 45 the war finished. So he basically only had 2 years that he wasn't allowed to use his name, which is where this guy came in. Which, and this of course, this is the guy I was talking about in the car, Gilles Villeneuve, who my favourite race driver of all time.
What do you like about him?
He
Down there,
he never gave up.
Oh.
He drove some of the crappiest cars, and he won races in them for Ferrari, I might add. I mean, in 1981, when the 126 CK was the Formula 1 Ferrari, everyone said he was an absolute dog. He won 3 races in that car that year.
Which car was it?
The 126 CK. It was a turbo. It was the beginning of the turbo period.
Can we quickly walk back and see that F1 car again? I forgot to film it.
Let me see if I can find. While we do that. Car I was just talking about. So it's the 1981 Formula 1 car. It looks great, but everyone said it's just, it did not go around corners. But somehow he won, like I say, 3 races in that car by not giving up.
Wow. Was that the debut car for Ferrari?
No, it was the debut of that engine there, which is the turbocharged Formula 1 engine, which in the 1980s turbocharging was the way to go.
Okay.
And that was their first turbo engine. And power wasn't the problem. Reliability wasn't the problem. Handling was the problem.
Got it. There's some damage? Is that from like tourists, or is that like part of the...
It's race cars get beat up.
Is this an actual race car, or is this just a replica?
No, this is an actual race car.
Oh, this is actual. Nice.
I would not be surprised if it doesn't have an engine in it. Let's have a look. It's kind of hard to tell.
What are you looking for?
This has an engine in it.
What are you looking for?
Well, through the gap, there's exhaust pipes,
yeah.
and you can see the cylinder heads.
Yeah.
So it actually has an engine in it. So this is a real race car. But you see the way that this is worn through here.
Definitely seen some track days.
Yeah, exactly. Now, you see, one of the things Ferrari have been really clever at is that they sell this stuff to people, only very special, selected customers. But this car is quite possibly owned by someone. But what they do is they set up this thing called Ferrari Corse, which means Ferrari track, and they sell their old race cars to people with lots of money.
Of course.
But they don't let the people have the car.
They
keep the car, and then they say, okay, we could take this car to these events this year. They take the car to those events, they maintain it, they set it up, they keep it running, and then the owner goes to the event, drives the car, and then he gets out the car, they take it back, they do all what they need to do, and take lots and lots of money from this guy until he sells it to someone else he can't sell it to anyone else, he's got to sell it to someone through Ferrari, because Ferrari will only let certain people do it.
Sounds like a business model they have going on over there.
Basically.
The ultimate siphoning business model.
We keep hold of it, we do whatever we want with it, and you can drive it when we take it to the events that we say we're taking it to.
Very exclusive
we're
club.
We're talking about millions and millions and millions of euros.
I bet.
It's a great plan. Lamborghini can't do that because they don't have the racing heritage.
I'm glad Ferrari kept their heritage.
That's why they're such a strong marketing company now, though, because they built that heritage.
Yep, exactly.
Now what do? They sell their heritage because, to be brutally honest, if you make this, you make, I don't know, 5,000 of those over 5 years. Yeah, it's an expensive car, but how much do you make? Not that much. I mean, money-wise.
Right.
But then if you can get 10 million off a guy for owning the Formula One car for a couple of years, and then 2 years later get another 10 million from another guy for the same car, suddenly you're making money.
I guess that's how they keep their business going. Yeah. What's this? Is this his office from the outside?
This is where you are.
Oh.
This is the old Ferrari, his dad's workshop, basically. And that's effectively this part of this building we're in now. It's not all there anymore.
Okay.
I don't know if this is what we're literally in. I'll look from the outside. But
Ferrari has always strictly been cars, right?
No, this guy here, a guy called Francesco Baracca, he was a World War I pilot, and the story is, he used this prancing horse logo here, and the story is that his mother, because he died in the war as a fighter pilot, his mother met Enzo Ferrari and said, you can use the prancing horse, which is our family crest. That's the story.
Why did Ferrari want this horse? Is there a reason to it? Maybe he's like a Red Baron?
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, because he's a Red Baron. But no, it's because it's cool. But he always used it, because this is the Alfa Romeos, when he had Scuderia Ferrari. But you see that the shield is there. He had the shield before he had the cars. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's still there. Any Ferrari you buy, except for the Dinos, has the prancing horse on it.
Dino the Sun, right?
The Dino the Sun did not have the prancing horse. They have a yellow rectangular badge with Dino written on it. I'll show you one.
Okay. I think he dedicated it to his son after his passing.
Yes.
I think that's the story behind it.
Yes. This is interesting.
What?
So this is the Ferrari Museum in 1940. Sorry, museum factory in 1943. Remember that picture when we get there.
All right, I'm going to take a picture now. All right.
That building is still there, kinda.